We're coming off the long weekend.
Yes.
Hope everybody had a happy Victoria Day, and welcome back to the grind in Canada. I know you American listeners have got a long weekend coming up. It's Memorial Day, a week from today in America. I like the Memorial Day weekend. Americans do it right. Hey, it's a long weekend. We're going to have some sales on mattresses, and we're going to have a barbecue. And that seems like a great way to do it.
Of course, because you eat and you get tired, then you have a nap on your great mattress that you got on sale.
Well, for the rest of us, we've got to wait 42 days before we get another 4-day work week, Anna.
Who's counting now?
42 days until Canada Day, and I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. We got to find a way to get Canada onto the 4-day work week.
I love a good 4-day work week. I'm happy to add a couple extra hours onto my day if that means getting a 4-day. I think that's perfect. You're already working as it is, late hours. Might as well just do this.
How much money would it save you if you commuted one less day a week?
Oh, quite a bit, yeah. And I can imagine those who drive into the GTA as well, who are stuck in traffic. I'm sure they'd love having one less day to sit there.
People ask me about that all the time. Scott, I know you're a big fan of the 4-day work week, but I'm a teacher. There's no way we could do a 4-day work week because school is in 5 days a week. I think that's just not using your imagination, Anna. Yeah. I think that teachers could very easily be on a 4-day work week. In fact, I think educators should be the first that we move to a 4-day work week. And once all the bugs are ironed out there, kids going to school 5 days, but teachers only being there 4, I think that any industry could do it.
I feel like, oh yeah, and then schools in Europe, they're already implemented this 4-day work week, even when it comes to schools, and they're still very successful. So
they are. Its productivity goes up. There's so many reasons we could do this. But anyway,
you have my vote.
Thank you. Thank you. I think this is a provincial thing. Premier Ford, hey, let's talk about moving to the 4-day work week. Start with the civil service and then move everybody over. And once you start with the civil service, a lot of private companies will make the switch anyway. Mm-hmm. They'll have to because there's going to be people out shopping at times when there typically isn't. Do you know how much you could get done if you had 3 days off instead of 2?
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing, honestly, because Saturday to get everything done truly isn't enough time.
At least one of those days would be a weekday. Mm-hmm. Think about all the times that employees take time off during the week because they've got a doctor's appointment or they've got this or that. You just tell people, no, we need you 4 full days. Book your appointments on your off day. We need 4 full days out of you. And if you can give us that, we'll still give you a full-time salary. That would be the ideal.
Would you love a Monday or would you love the Friday off?
I go back and forth on that. I'm one of those rare, weird people that likes Mondays.
Me too. That's what I would want, Mondays.
I like the beginning of the week, so I'd like to have Fridays off personally. You know what? I'd be okay with even Wednesdays off.
Yeah, I like that too. A little, space in between to get things done.
Imagine that. You work 2 days, you get a day off. You work 2 days and then get 2 days off.
Oh, man. Okay. Again, you got my vote.
Sign me up, right?
This. I'm down.
Anna, how was your long weekend?
It was nice. I didn't get a lot. Not that I didn't get a lot done. I was a little under the weather, so I just laid low, and I think I really needed that. I really had a nice time. Went to a friend's son's football game, joined the gym.
You joined a gym?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to start running again. I like going on the treadmill, and then I like running outside, so a little bit of both.
Okay. You're a very fit person.
You think I'm fit?
I would have thought you've been going to the gym all along.
No, I'm not fit, but thank you. I feel weak. So that's the thing. I really need to start weight training again and feel strong. I don't feel strong. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm thinking, should I sign up for another 10K or a half K, like a half marathon? I'm not sure. I'm on the fence.
You lost me. The
Do
running.
You run?
No, because let me tell you why.
Okay.
Some people ask, hey, are you a runner? And I always tell them, no, it's because I got a screwed up ankle.
Yeah.
I'm really running out of that excuse because my ankle is getting better every day.
Don't want to push it, though.
That golf thing on Friday wasn't a good idea, though.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, listen, before I tell you the rest of the running story, the doctor said, Scott, you should wait till the end of June. You had surgery in November. Wait till the end of June, then you're good to golf. And I thought, he's crazy. What does this doctor know? I know my ankle, and I know I can put enough weight on it to play golf. And I did. And I won. What I wasn't taking into account was he wasn't just talking about the weight you put on your ankle. It's all the uneven ground that you walk across on a golf course. So I took most of the weekend literally off my feet. It was great.
Oh, man. I wouldn't have thought of that, though. Yeah, absolutely.
In
But
fairness,
you won, so.
Yeah, I did win, and I don't think the doctor thought of that either. In any case, the doctor was definitely right about that. But the reason I don't run is I feel like you're going nowhere. If I have somewhere to go, I have a choice. I can walk, bike, drive, or run. Just running with nowhere to go except for maybe in circles or around the neighborhood. That doesn't seem like fun to me.
I hate bike riding. That's the one thing. Like, I hate it. And I've tried really hard to get into, especially when spin classes are having like this big moment. I tried. I hate it. I can't do it. Yeah, no, it's not for me. Running, I don't particularly love running. I love the high when you're done. People get a runner's high during. That's not me. I'm complaining the entire time typically, but I love the feeling of being done. I like the goal. Like, it's something very difficult that I've been able to accomplish, and that's what I like.
Nice. One of the pot shops that I go to, Canna Cannabis in Burlington. It's on Upper Middle. I was there on Friday, right before golf. They have a spin class just down a few doors. Anna, if you want to feel like just a useless piece of you-know-what, you be that deadbeat trying to pass through like 50 people waiting to get into a spin class that are ready to do something good for their body and their mind when you're just trying to get high. I felt like such a deadbeat.
You were active. You went and played 18 holes. To me, that's not.
No, the weed was to get me through the 18 holes.
That's what I mean. But still, like, you still went and did something and accomplished it. Doesn't, I can't do spin classes. They're too intense for me. You're getting yelled at, and I'm naturally a competitor. So if I'm seeing somebody spinning harder than me than beside me, I have to go at their level, which is a lose.
Until you fall right off that bike.
And I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about in this episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Scott Fox After 9. Anna Almeida joins me on this episode. And before I talk to you about the Toronto Maple Leafs, before I talk to you about the new Take It Down law that just got passed in America, I love that. We'll do a quick Diddy update, talk a little bit about the World Junior Hockey Championship team that is on trial in London. All that and more coming up. Plus, a lot of convocations and graduations happening now.
Yeah.
The 10 worst paying post-secondary degrees you can get.
Oh, man.
It's amazing how many people just go to university for the sake of going to university and don't really have a plan for afterwards or using that degree that they're earning. Some of them are not worth as much as others. And personally, I think that should be reflected in the tuition. But we'll get to that coming up. That football game you were at this weekend. Let me see if I can paint a picture. Yeah. Anna's at a football game, and it was your friend's son who is on the U9 team.
I believe, yeah. They're all little, young.
And they're playing in Cambridge.
Yes.
And I've been there to a game in Cambridge. They played at Jacob Hespeler High School. Nice little spot. Nice little stadium they have there for football. Scarborough is in town. And it turned into an all-out fisticuffs fight between a couple of moms at this football game.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, does this happen often? The police showed up. There's 2 cruisers. Not 1, 2. It's like they knew something was happening. The lights are on, and I was like, it's not even 10 a.m., and we're having issues out here. But people are passionate about their kids, and it really just started with one mom.
Are they passionate or crazy? Because
I want to say crazy, but that's not the nicest thing to say.
Well, I'll say it. And I have a little bit of experience with this because I do have a pretty extensive experience running sports organizations. For example, now I'm the commissioner of lacrosse across Canada, Canadian universities.
Oh, wow, look at you.
It's as far as U sports go, if you want to play lacrosse in Canadian University, I'm the commissioner of that league. And I'm doing that after having run many minor organizations. And one of the things that I've always had to deal with was problem parents. Kids just want to go out and play the game.
Yeah.
Parents get in the way all the time. And it sounds like, based on what you told me on the radio today, that your friend or the person that ended up getting in the fight was asking for it. They were running up and down the field.
Yeah, so the mom from the visiting team, from the very beginning, they kept going on the turf. And then anytime her child had the ball, they were running back and forth, but yelling very, very loud. It was obnoxious. And even I don't follow sports that well, and I knew that what she was doing was wrong. Anyways, another mom, which again, this is all volunteer based, walked up and said, could you kindly, all of you, please get off the turf? Like, it's, we're not,
turf is for athletes.
Exactly, not for the parents. So that already set off some of them. Anyways, it continues on. Now we're in the fourth quarter. It's a close game. The mom, again, is freaking out from the visiting team. The other mom then is like, can you please just calm down? There's a tackle being made between the two kids, and not by the mom who had asked them to calm down. She was a volunteer, but another child. And anyways, the mother that was screaming, her child got tackled.
In a football game?
I know, but apparently was not impressed. Not sure what happened, okay, but ended up, I guess, punching the other kid.
The mom punched the kid?
No. The child who got tackled punched the other kid that tackled him, and the mom saw and was not happy. She started freaking out and then said, that the child was spewing some racist comments, which none of us heard. I don't know. But regardless, that led to a face-to-face altercation, okay? The moms are in each other's, like, nose to nose, freaking out, and then that's when another mom from the home team came to support the one that was face to face and pushed the visiting team's mom out of the way because it was too close for comfort. And then that's when fists started being thrown, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then everybody started getting in on it, and then it was a lot of yelling and screaming and too many people to try to track. I just sat on the stands because I was like, I'm too new at my job. I got nobody's back here. Okay?
Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately,
I'm not getting involved.
Anna, that sort of stuff happens at kids' sporting events all the time. It's wrong. And I think on some level, these parents know it's wrong. But how much of a helicopter parent are you? If your kid's playing in a football game and as they're running up and down the field, you're running up and down with them trying to coach. Or your kid gets in a fight, so you want to throw down as well. But it happens in hockey, lacrosse, football, soccer, baseball, you name it. Some parents are so out of control, and I don't think they realize how embarrassing they are to their kids. Imagine you're the kid, and the game has now been called off.
Because it did. It got called off.
Because your mom started throwing hands in the stands.
It was just outrageous, and on the sidelines too. And everybody's trying to de-escalate the situation, but then when you got a few hotheads in there, it's hard, And then all of a sudden I looked to my left. We got police cruisers coming. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody. I'm here visiting. I'm just here to support.
Any charges laid?
Not that I know of, but as I was walking out, the mom was still yelling. The one that was the instigator was still going off by the police, which was wild.
Really?
And anyways, I asked the police officer, I was like, does this happen often? And he was just like, more than you think. And I was like, I can't get over that. More than you think?
It should never happen, but I think that cop's right. They probably get called to sporting events all the time. The amount of money... And keep this in mind, parents, the next time you have to register your kid for soccer or hockey or lacrosse or whatever, part of what you're paying for is paid duty cops to be at the game for fellow parents who can't control themselves.
I just was, anyways, I had seen videos online, but to see it in person, it was just on another level. Because I just thought, keep it together. I mean, lead by example. Calm down. Let them play. It's not the Olympics here. They're just playing for fun and eventually, setting themselves to be successful in this sport.
Or just have fun.
Yeah.
Most of these kids are going nowhere as far as organized pro sports are concerned. But either way, they're out there being fit and fun and healthy. Let them play. Parents got to stop. But parents are crazy, Anna. I'm telling you, they're nuts. And if that's what they're like with their kids' sports, imagine what they're like with their kids' school.
I can't.
Imagine the nonsense their kids' teacher is probably going to put up with.
Oh, my gosh. And then I was like, well, I definitely have to be at the next one. I need to see what happens, But at the end of the day, the kids looked really sad and deflated when they were walking by. So I kept saying, good job, number, 19 from the visiting team, because they looked sad that they had to go home and there wasn't a clear winner. It was a tie game after all. And will the parent be allowed to be back at the game?
I mean, if I were in charge, no, they'd be banned permanently. But yeah, these things, they happen a lot. I'll tell you, there's two things that are major factors here, other than helicopter parenting. Tailgating. Way too many parents drinking alcohol in the parking lots of their kids' sports. You've got a U9 football game, and guaranteed there were beers being drank in the parking lot in the morning before that game.
I've never heard of that. I thought that only happened for professional sports where there's tailgates. So to me, this was like news. I had no idea parents do this, but I could see how that would then, cloud some judgment.
I'm not going to say I've never done it. I've done it. My kid used to play in tournaments every weekend, all year long. And you kind of get into a routine with the other parents that are on the same journey. You get to become friends. You think, well, we're out here from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. before we can go back and check into the hotel. So let's grab a couple of beers and tailgate a bit. And parents do it. And I actually don't have a problem with it as long as you can control yourself. If you can't control yourself, you can't have the alcohol at a kid's sporting event. It's one thing to be social in the parking lot with other parents. It's another thing to get drunk. Here's the other thing. If you ever find yourself in a sporting event situation like that, and you're thinking, wow, that kid just body checked my kid real hard. I'm going to freak out and go on the ice. I'm going to fight a parent in the stands. I'm going to make a scene. Just ask yourself, when your kid wants you to take them to Disney World, or they want to go to a tournament in Michigan, or they want to do whatever. And you have to tell them, no, I'm not allowed to cross the border because I have a criminal record for assault because I fought another parent at a kid's sporting event. If you're going to get a criminal record, that's probably the most embarrassing criminal record you could have. Not being allowed to cross the border because you have an assault charge from fighting another parent at a kid's sporting event. Stuff like that happens, though, Anna.
I saw.
It's not worth the hassle.
It just
control yourself.
Honestly, literally control yourself. Even the little kids by us were like, stop fighting. Stop fighting. We want to watch the game. And I was like, how? These children know what's up. And the parents don't? I was very, I will say, it was quite the show.
Wow.
Quite the game.
Coming up, I am going to talk about my buddy who had the silent date this weekend.
Yes.
Anna knows what happened now. I haven't told you guys in the pod yet, but I'm going to before this episode is over.
It's a doozy.
Were you shocked when I told you the twist?
I was beyond shocked. I can't. I still am in. I can't. Yeah.
We'll talk about that coming up. There is some audio I want to play for you, Anna.
All right.
First off, I want to congratulate, and I haven't done this in a while because he really pissed me off over the last number of months, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. So a lot of what he's done recently has pissed me off and a lot of people that I know.
Oh, you've been pissing me off for years. This is great to hear.
The tariff talk, the make us the 51st state, costing the conservatives the election here in Canada, all of it. I just don't like Donald Trump. But I'm going to give him credit, and I'm going to give the First Lady, Melania Trump, credit. They passed a new law, or they've proposed a new law in America that we absolutely need to steal here as well. Here's a little bit of President Trump making an announcement this weekend.
Well, I want to thank everybody. We just spent 2.5 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made. It's a terrible situation going on over there. 5,000 young people every single week are being killed. So hopefully we did something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up. What a shame that it ever started in the first place. But I want to thank Melania and for your leadership in this very important issue. It's an amazing issue. America is blessed to have such a dedicated and compassionate First Lady. I would tell you she is very dedicated. In fact, if you look at just what I heard, Putin just said they respect your wife a lot. I said, what about me? No, they like Melania better.
All right, that was a little bit of President Trump congratulating his wife Melania after he, get this, what a day the president must have had. He was on the phone with the European Union leaders. He was on the phone with J.D. Vance, who was coming back from Italy. He went to the Pope's inaugural mass.
Gave him a jersey with the Chicago Bears.
Which is great. Yeah, if you got a Pope from Chicago, give him a Bears jersey.
Yeah.
Custom. Then he was on the phone for 2 hours with Vladimir Putin trying to reach peace between Russia and Ukraine, then right out to the Rose Garden to congratulate his wife. And the reason he did that is because Melania has been spearheading what's called Take It Down, a proposed new law that the president has now signed. So I guess it would be law that combats revenge porn and makes it a federal crime. Here's the summary. The Take It Down Act makes it a federal crime to knowingly publish or even threaten to publish intimate images without a person's consent. That includes AI-created deepfakes. Now, free speech advocates and digital rights groups say the bill is too broad and could lead to censorship of legitimate images, including legal pornography and LGBTQ content. Well, deal with it if it gets to that. Either way, I think we have to accept the fact that there are people out there who have, in their relationship, taken photos or agreed to be photographed. And then that other person's got them. And sometimes they will use that as leverage. Take me back, or I'm publishing these photos. Give me money, or I'm going to publish these photos. Get rid of your friends, or I'm going to publish these photos. And it's not right. And the reason that this is a particularly good law is because it makes it a federal crime. You'll go to federal prison if you share intimate images of someone without their consent, or if you even threaten them with it. You'll go to jail. Now, we have laws here in Canada that are supposed to protect us, but I don't know how effective they are or if they go far enough. You know, ironically, normally I would be on the side of these digital rights groups that are concerned about censorship. I don't think there should be censorship either. But if somebody has something personal and intimate and you want to threaten them or go ahead and actually publish it online, and I don't care if there's nudity or not, anything intimate that happens in the context of a relationship, if you want to go and share that online, you're going to go to jail. And the other thing that this law does is it compels the big tech giants, Facebook, Meta, X, all of them, Snapchat, they've got to remove it within 48 hours. I'd like to see that reduced to 24 hours personally, because the longer it's online, the more damage it does. Either way, this is a concrete, solid law, no ambiguity. Somebody publishes a photo of you, even a deep fake that they had created or that they photoshopped. The police are going to come and knock on your door and you're going to go to jail.
Thank goodness for that. Honestly, it's about time. And I hope that level of, law would be transferred here to Canada, because it is. People hack into people's accounts. They take images without their consent. People have committed suicide over situations like this.
Yes.
And especially young teens, too, when they're still developmentally, they're still growing and learning consequences of things. And their images gets shared on Snapchats and everything else. And they have no way of taking it down. This at least would hopefully scare some of those people to stop. And even if you're trying to extort money from somebody, hopefully this too will help them, realize there's consequences to your actions. There shouldn't just be made a threat.
Preach.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But you know what, though? You said the magic word that I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the internet. Consequences. I believe in a free internet, basically unregulated. I think the internet should be free for us to share our opinions, our photos, whatever it is that we want. However, when you're infringing on someone else's right, there will be consequences for that, and I'm glad. Now, what we're proposing here in Canada, that's flat out censorship. The bill that the Canadian government wants to go with. I'm not going to tackle that here today, but it's something that I think we should all be afraid of. What they're doing in America, long overdue. Their laws go much further than ours do. I'd like to see us adopt this here. No one should have to worry that some prick from their past is going to expose their deepest, darkest, most intimate secrets online for no other reason but to shame or embarrass them.
And I don't want to hear, well, you shouldn't have taken it. Well, you shouldn't have done a lot of things and stuff happens. So don't come at me with that, please. That's, to me, it drives me crazy. Okay?
But that is what some people would say. You shouldn't have posed for it if you didn't want your photo.
Well, at the time.
No. That's not what you're signing up for. No.
I trusted them. I trusted that they would keep my images safe. That's why we were in a relationship. So no, don't come at me with that stuff. It should be respected. I should be respected. The person who sends images should be respected. It's not for anybody else to see. Otherwise, I would have just posted it myself,
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's why, if you can, don't send. If you can. That's just my advice.
I'll take it a step further. I think this should apply to anything that is personal between two people. It shouldn't just be there's a nude photo that they posted online or they threatened to post online. It could be voicemails that you left for each other. It could be any number of things. Putting those things out there simply to shame or embarrass someone else should fall into this. And I hope that we go a step further here in Canada and up the U.S. and make them raise their game too. Either way, if you're threatening people with it or actually doing it, you should go to jail. Federal crime, serve actual time, and there should be consequences for what you do. So I think that's a great new law.
Yeah.
And a Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
We're going there.
You're wearing blue still today.
Yeah, it's not that blue though.
No, I know.
I'm just so you know, I'm going to say it here because there was a lot of people after the Leafs game on Sunday night that messaged me. I'm done. I'm out.
Okay, they're on your bandwagon.
I'm out.
You're out too. Okay,
So-
for sure. I thought about you after the game. I was like, is Scott really done? But I was like, it's too soon to message. Too sensitive. So.
You know, before the game on Friday night, I had a feeling they were going to win Friday. After they got just booed out of their own building in Game 5, I had a feeling it wasn't going to end like that. They weren't going to let it die in Florida. And I knew that they had the skill to beat Florida. They just didn't have the passion to beat Florida, and they proved it. The team that we saw on Friday night, Game 6, where they beat Florida convincingly to force Game 7, got everybody's hopes back up, right? That's a good hockey team that beat them, but that's not who the Maple Leafs are. We learned after Game 7, Sunday night, the Maple Leafs are exactly the team we thought they were after Game 5. Quitters, no passion, no heart. Maybe it's too much talent for one hockey team. I don't know, but this core four thing did not work out for us again. And there's different theories about why the Leafs lost this year. Some people blame it on management. Some people blame it on coaching. Some people blame it on passion, effort.
Drake betting $1 million.
Curses, yeah. Well, that didn't help either. Like Drake, if you could stay out of it, that'd be great.
That would be lovely.
I think Florida wanted it more, and I kind of agree with those who say there's just too much pressure being a Toronto Maple Leaf. Maple Leafs fans make it too hard to be a Maple Leaf.
Yeah, but it's part of, wearing the Maple Leaf. If you're going to be a player, it comes with the territory. Sorry.
You get treated like gold. It's probably one of the best organizations that you can play hockey for, but the expectations are high. But really, are they high? Because even if the expectations are high and you lose, there doesn't seem to be any consequence. All of these guys, most of them, were here last year when we were in the exact same boat. So maybe there is no consequence there. Either way, what's Brad Marchand like? I know you've had a few encounters with him over the years.
He's actually really nice, comes from a really nice family. I know he has a reputation, but he's softened over the years. Now that he's a dad, he's a family man. But yeah, he still plays into the Marchand kind of name.
Here is a little bit of Brad Marchand after the game on Sunday talking about his persona and what it's like to be a Maple Leaf.
Really a lot of pleasure in torturing this fan base and this team. And I'm wondering if that's the case, if you take any more pleasure in beating these guys than you do anyone else.
You never take for granted winning. Winning is the most incredible feeling. And on any night, it's not easy to win in this league. But I think the thing about Toronto is their fans are very in your face, and they're in your face, right? So they're aggressive and they let you hear it all the time, and it's just fun to interact. I think everybody that knows me, you guys have all seen, like I interact with a lot of fans, and I enjoy that part of it. We're out there, we're living a dream that a lot of us never thought would ever really become reality. And it's like, it's a job and it's tough and there's expectations and, from the media, from the players, from the staff, the ownership, the fans. But, there's moments that you need to enjoy. Careers fly by, and like I've been in it a long time and I've been very fortunate and it's almost over. Right. And like, I can't believe how fast it's gone by. I wish I was able to enjoy more moments and actually look back and take, take moments that I took for granted. I wish I could have over, but you don't get that opportunity. And that's one of them, I grew up a Leafs fan and I enjoy playing against the Leafs and I enjoy interacting with fans. It's fun. It's not something that I'll forever get to do. And I don't take myself too seriously. I love getting made fun of. I love making fun of people. And if you can't take it, then so be it. But I can. So I'm going to enjoy the moments that I have. And that's one of them. And when I come in here and I get booed and I get that award in the game, I'm going to show it. And, I'm going to enjoy that. So, it's just not about taking yourself too seriously in the game. Yes, we all want to win and we all want to chase a cup, but you don't always get to do that. So you got to enjoy the process and the steps and the days that you have throughout that journey.
Said like a Stanley Cup champ.
If all the stars were to align and Leaf Nation were presented with an option come June or July or August, and the option was, we're going to get rid of Mitch Marner, we're going to get rid of John Tavares, we're going to get rid of a whole bunch of upper management. Marner and Tavares are gone, but we're bringing in Brad Marchand for the Maple Leafs.
Wow.
Do you think Maple Leaf fans can forget all the hell that he has put us through and have him as a Leaf? Or is he just persona non grata?
I think he'd be great. Not only is he an enforcer in a way, he holds his ground, but he's an amazing player still at his age. And he says it's coming to an end, so maybe he'd like to finish off his career as a Leaf.
You know, there's a lot of players that do say they would like to finish off as a Leaf because this is hockey country. And a lot of these players grew up Leaf fans, including Marchand. He said that himself. One thing about that, though, is I feel like if we had Marchand, even if you took Marner and Tavares off the ice on Sunday, wouldn't really have made a difference because we need somebody with heart. And it seems like Marchand has heart. When he was the captain of the Boston Bruins, he led them to a Stanley Cup. Then it was a smart move for Boston. They were going to be going through a rebuild. Let him go. He goes to Florida and he doesn't have a letter on his chest. But even though he hasn't been designated the captain or the alternate captain of this new team that he's with, he still showed a leadership role. He still went out there and he played a part. He willed the team on. He used his experience to mentor some of the younger players. I think that's the kind of heart and integrity in a hockey player that we need in Toronto, and we don't have a Marchand.
Okay, so are we missing that in Austin Matthews? Is it just too soon? Like, did he deserve that seat right now?
I don't mind. To me, I would have made Austin Matthews the captain a while ago.
Okay.
I don't think that Tavares should have had it. He just sort of had it when he came over from the Islanders and they let him keep it here. It made sense. Here's a local boy, Canadian kid, captain of the Leafs. I don't know that he really earned it, but I'm not sure what he was like as a leader with the players behind closed doors. I do believe Austin Matthews has certainly got the skill and he's certainly got the leadership quality, but he's no Marchand. You need someone like that on your team.
He's strong, like all around strong as a player, as a person. You know, I feel like to your point, they listen. The team listens when he speaks. You know what I mean? When you're getting cuts of on Sunday, when they're showing some of the players, they're yelling at each other. I mean, I don't do well when people are yelling at me. So maybe that had an effect. Who knows on the Leafs? But it was a terrible way to lose, a terrible way to finish a series, especially since we were 2 up when we first started.
Let's play a little bit more of Marchand. Then we're going to go to Austin Matthews, then to Coach Craig Berube. This is Brad postgame on Sunday.
When you win a cup and you play in some of the games that this team played in last year, like these are not high pressure games. You know, when you're playing for an actual cup and you give up a 3-game lead and then you're in game 7, like that's a high pressure game, right? So, you know, in game 7, second round, yeah, it's a high pressure game, but it's not compared to some other games that guys have played. So when you actually look at that, and then when you see the pressure that Toronto faces and you know, everyone's talking about whatever the 20, 30-year build-up. I don't even know what it is, but you see the fans and the way they're talking. Like, they just beat the pressure into this team. And it's got to be tough on those guys to walk to the rink every day and not feel that because, you see the way the fans treat them at the end. Like, how do you not feel that every single day? You know, and when you go through big games, like, you realize which are actually big games and which are just, you know, big moments.
Does he have a point?
Yeah.
Do we just put too much pressure on these guys?
There's a lot of
pressure. If we backed off a little bit and cared a little less, could we win a cup?
No, I care a lot more when there's a cup at stake and when you're making millions and I'm not. So, and to do something that you love so much. Yeah, I want you to perform at the best of your abilities. That's why you're getting paid that much.
Okay.
That's just me.
Let's hear from the other captain involved in it. Well, actually, no, Marchand's not even a captain. He just acts like one,
Well,
and he should. He's got all the pedigree to do that. Leafs captain Austin Matthews after Sunday night's game.
First period I thought they came out a little bit hungrier than us. I thought we, last half of that period we got our game going, and then I don't know how it really got away from us. I think just not on the same page in different areas of the game.
Can you describe the disappointment you must be feeling?
Not really.
Are you tired of doing this?
Yeah, I am. I think, we all are. I mean, I think there's 31 teams that go home very disappointed, and obviously we're one of them. So it's not a great feeling.
You can understand the frustration of the fans, though. There was some throwing jerseys on the ice, and there's a lot of booing in this game again tonight. I mean, what's your message to the fans who have had to deal with this year after year after year with this team?
Yeah, it's tough to kind of gather, thoughts on all that so quickly after the game. I mean, I think, you look, back on training camp, just all the work that you put in to get yourself to this point, and it's very, very frustrating, obviously, for us as well as them included. So, it's tough to kind of gather your thoughts on all that right away.
What was your sense of the group coming into this one, Wes?
I felt like we were ready to play. Felt like we were, in a good mindset. Like I said, I thought the first, 10 minutes we didn't, they came out strong, and the next 10 minutes I thought we controlled play. And then I just thought we had too many passengers throughout the rest of the game and just weren't on the same page. And they get a couple goals and momentum like that, and then you're chasing the game, and it's hard to get it back. When you're down 3 against a good team that plays sound defensively like them.
Mm-hmm.
Too many passengers. What does that mean?
Everybody wants to be a star. Nobody's talking to each other, and nobody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's just a lot of people skating around in circles trying to do something.
It did seem like they were chasing that game, and it got away from them because they gave up the first goal, and then maybe a little bit of panic set in, like, oh no, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start chasing that game, it becomes a lot easier to have those defensive lapses where more goals go in on you instead of for you. I feel bad for Austin Matthews. He's done everything he can do. He's still the best player on the ice. If you watch him, when he's not being double or triple teamed at times, he still manages to be an effective player. And there's people who will make a big deal of the fact that Austin Matthews didn't score. I don't think we need Austin Matthews to score. Austin Matthews needs to take 2 D guys. That's all he has to do. 2 guys to cover Matthews, because if you don't cover him with 2 guys, he's going to be a threat. Well, if there's 2 guys covering Matthews, that means Nylander should be open. That means Tavares should be open. That means Marner should be open. That means Riley should be open. It frees up space on the ice, having Austin Matthews out there. And despite being double-teamed, he still manages to execute plays. His shot is a little erratic these days, but that's something that I'm sure he'll work on. One more. This is Leafs coach Craig Berube.
You didn't live the past playoff series with this team, but you were aware of them, obviously, when you took this job. How much of that baggage with the guys that have been here a while play a part in a moment like tonight, where it looks like the moment's too big for them?
Well, I look at, I don't think the moment's too big for him. I think it's, we went to Ottawa and won Game 6 and won a series. We went into Florida and won Game 6 to make it a Game 7. So the moment's not too big. For me, it's all between the years. It's a mindset. These guys are capable of doing it. You just got to execute it, and we didn't execute it. We didn't execute it in Game 5. We didn't execute it in Game 7. I don't have an answer for that. Why? But that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, if you were Craig Berube, and it's probably going to be a decision that comes down to his input mainly, because Brendan Shanahan, his contract is up. There's not a chance they're going to renew him again. He's had way too many chances. 10 years, no cup, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Shanahan's gone. Treliving, probably gone. Then you get Mitch Marner, unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. He's going to be gone. I think that's too bad. I think with the amount of skill the Leafs have, they should be a much better hockey team. But to the coach's point there, it is a mindset, and they don't seem to have that championship mindset that Florida has. Florida proved it. Stanley Cup and lost. Stanley Cup and won. On their way possibly back to the Stanley Cup. That's quite the legacy for this hockey team.
Yeah.
It's great. I think that Marner is gone. John Tavares is going to offer the deal of the century to stay.
He wants to stay.
He does. And you know what? His family's here. His kids are here. He doesn't want to have to move around.
We're all like, oh, we love you to stay.
Even if he said, you know what? Pay me just $1 million a year.
Would you?
I don't think so.
Get out.
I don't think it's his skill. I think that they just need new faces. They need new faces. They need new chemistry. They need people who have a championship pedigree. So Marner's gone. Tavares is gone.
So who
Shanahan's
would those
gone.
be people? Who would they be?
You know, I also wondered about maybe some of the dead weight. The Max Domi experiment wasn't great. I get that he was the only one that scored on Sunday, but generally not great. I would probably sign Pacioretty to a much better deal and keep him around for a little bit longer. Morgan Riley, I feel bad for him. He's been with the Leafs since day one. Just had a baby. He's married to Tessa Virtue now. He's got a great Toronto life that he's probably going to have to move somewhere else because I have a feeling he's going to be gone this year too. Our
Those are all the
defense was a big
players I
issue.
know. I have to learn a brand new team. But I guess that if that's what we need, but I feel like we're always saying, okay, out with the old, in with the new, constantly when it comes to the Leafs.
Well, they can't do small changes this time. They got to do big changes, in my estimation. So I think that they're going to blow it up. And I think that they probably should. And there's going to be some moments where you're going to turn on the TV or the radio or something like that one of these days, and you're going to hear Mitch Marner has signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins and lose your mind. What? Then you're going to hear things like John Tavares is now the captain of the Buffalo Sabres or the Philadelphia Flyers or something like that. And we got to say goodbye because as fun as it was, as much as I love the core four, it's just not working out. And by the way, we probably need a better goalie.
I know. I was going to say, though, would have been different if he had never gotten hurt, Stolarz?
If Stolarz hadn't been hurt, this might have been a different series. But he did get hurt, and Wall was supposed to come in. And I know, don't blame the goalie, but I'm kind of blaming the goalie. He wasn't as good as he needed to be. That's just the simple fact. People were chirping me after Game 6 on Friday. Ha, what do you think of Wall now? Do you want to apologize to Wall? No, because what I saw in Game 5, I also saw in Game 7. And that tells me all I need to know about Joe Wall. Anyway, Leaf season is over. I'm done. Not saying forever. Next year, if something happens that impresses me, maybe I'll come back. And I'll be honest, I've lost the passion.
Yeah.
I just don't care anymore.
There's more anger. And I mean, for people to throw their jerseys and hats, those things aren't cheap. So that is passion. That is dedication that they too are fed up if you're getting rid of what you were just wearing, you know? So that's where I'm at.
While we're talking hockey, a member of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey Team is set to continue testifying today at the sexual assault trial of his 5 former teammates. Tyler Steenbergen began testifying last week. He's expected to face more cross-examination from the defense lawyers today. He was one of several players in that London hotel room at one point in the night, but he was only there for a short time and left. McLeod, Dubé, Formanton, Hart, and Foote have all pled not guilty to sexual assault in connection with an encounter with the woman who alleges that she was sexually assaulted that night.
And that story just continues to grow as this trial continues on. And
I find it fascinating.
Well, me too, especially once it was introduced, the text messages between EM, who is the victim in this, and then the hockey player. So, which is showing their perspective that they had the consent, that it wasn't what it's appearing or being said to be. So I'm interested to see what this cross-examination will be like today because he is going to be testifying once more.
It's interesting because for like over a year now, the go-to conversation, the go-to small talk is politics. Oh, did you hear about Trudeau? And what about Polyev and Carney and blah, blah, blah. Trump. Now, the water cooler talk seems to be this hockey trial. And it's amazing how many people have different perspectives on whether or not it's going to be guilty or innocent. Now, one of the things that's happened since we last recorded, the jury has been unseated. There were reports that one of the defense lawyers was talking badly or making fun of one of the jurors, so the judge dismissed the jury.
Early.
Why on earth would that? I can't for the life of me figure out why a defense attorney would make fun of a juror unless they were trying to get the jury gone, or alternate theory, this jury is done. They didn't want to do it anymore, and that was the best way to get out of it. We're not comfortable with one of the lawyers. Let a judge make this decision because I don't want to be one of the 12 that either convicted these 5 guys or one of the 12 that let these 5 guys walk.
I would be in that exact boat. I'd be like, please let the judge be the one with the answer. I don't want to be involved because it's too much. And I'm very much, if you're a victim, you should speak up and have justice. But with this case, in the beginning, I was very much on EM's side. And I don't want to say I've swayed completely to the right to these players. But when you hear so much more information, you're kind of like, how do I know? You know, I said it before, her truth, their truth, and then the real truth is in the middle. And that's what the jurors been trying to figure out. But they too are having a hard time.
Meanwhile, page 6 says prosecutors in the Sean Diddy Combs trial
Oh, man.
fear his ex, Cassie, could go into labor at any moment. The defense is pushing for her testimony to end promptly to avoid a potential mistrial. The trial has been emotionally taxing, with Ventura detailing alleged abuse and traumatic experiences. Not a whole ton new has come out other than witness testimony, people that actually saw Diddy like punch Cassie right in the face. One time, before that she was supposed to do an appearance somewhere, he clocked her right in the eye, blood gushing. She had to get stitched up, makeuped up, and get bigger sunglasses so no one would see the shiner.
So it's just terrible. And yeah, there's been reports that, you know, Usher had seen a physical altercation where Diddy had punched her in the stomach. And like a lot of these celebs who really did nothing, there's other people who have come forward saying, like, if you were to speak out, you could get badly hurt or you could go missing. So that led them to stay quiet. There's a lot that just keeps coming, and people are, again, are trying to navigate, okay, is this true? Is this not true? And yeah, it's sad. I can't imagine what Cassie is going through, because this is trauma being relived over and over. It was bad enough she had to do it for 10 plus years, and then to try to move on, start a family, and then have to stand or sit at the stand and recount this information and in front of a lot of strangers. Kudos to her. I couldn't do it.
I'm glad that she is testifying. I hope they get it done quick, but I want to hear from more now. We've very much established, nearest I can tell from what I've seen from the trial, we've established that Diddy abused the crap out of her. Mm-hmm. We've established that he did bring people in to have sex with her, and he pleasured himself while that was happening. We've established he directed these sexual encounters. I think that was all they needed out of Cassie as a witness. Let's get on to other people. Let's find out where else these freak-offs were happening and what else was going on.
I mean, one of the members from Danity Kane
Danity Kane?
Yeah, she took the stand, and they were hoping for Audrey to speak up as well. She was part of the group, but then now she's kind of stepped back and is not speaking. So I'm wondering, does he still have power in that sense that people still are scared to come forward and say what they saw? I mean, you know, he's been photographed. I mean, Diddy's been around for a long time, and he's been well respected within the music community, and you know that people have saw things. So if one speaks, will others follow? And why haven't they? Is it because they don't want to break that bro code or that entertainment code? I don't know.
Well, you're a bad boy for life, right?
I guess that's the thing. Like,
what a joke,
right? I don't understand. Now would be the time. It's okay. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be his friend if that's what they're afraid of. I don't know.
We need a big fish. We need a big fish that has a lot of swagger and a lot of integrity to come out and say exactly what happened. And then I think once other people see it's okay, because random example, Usher. Let's say Usher comes out and says, here's exactly what Diddy did. I saw the whole thing. He is guilty. Throw away the key. Then I think you'll see other people in the music industry start to step up.
What we're seeing too is people have come forward saying, I was not abused, I was not involved. Justin Bieber put out a statement and saying, like, no, I had nothing happen to me, and I don't want to take away from the victims. Like, that's where the light should be shone on them. So you're getting that, but now we do, like you said, to your point, I want somebody like a big name to come forward. Maybe a Jay-Z. I doubt that would happen, but come on, somebody who is as equal on par, if not, you know, has more connections and power than a Diddy.
Do you believe Bieber?
I don't. I don't either.
I think he was very much a victim, personally.
Yeah. And I mean, again, you don't want to, it's hard to admit that you're a victim. I can't imagine being in someone's shoes like that and having to recount and say it out loud when you're just trying to move on with your life. But then some people say that's maybe why he has such erratic behavior, Justin Bieber, because of things he's been through.
He was shaking like a mess at the hockey game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Didn't look great. I also saw a video of him at a private party, and he was singing like kind of a drunk version of Stay. It was weird. I don't know what's going on with Justin. I just hope that he's okay.
Yeah.
He's clearly going through something anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing, because we're at time already for the pod.
Wow.
Crazy how quickly it goes by, right?
Love talking.
So I did it in the pod, didn't I, about the
Yes,
silent date?
Yes, because I had people reach out to me and say, I agree with you. Silent dates are ridiculous. And I said, thank you.
By the way, I like that people are also reaching out directly to Anna.
It's so nice.
Anna_Almeida on Instagram is how you can find her, or
Yeah, that's the way.
just find her that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram. So they went out on Saturday.
I know. I can't believe it. Okay.
I'm going to catch you guys up real quick, and then I'm going to tell the story in the same detail, if not more, than I used today on our radio show. Light 92.1 FM every weekday morning, 5:30 till 9. You can hear myself and Anna across Southern Ontario on the radio, and then, of course, every day in the podcast here as well. Numbers are real good, by the way. The long weekend, a lot of people were getting caught up on pods. I could tell.
See?
It's good.
Some time in the car listening.
So a friend of mine, he's late 40s, single. He's been cruising around these dating sites for a while. Hasn't had a lot of luck. Finally met a girl. I said, what does she look like? Give me a number. He's like, she's an 8 out of 10, dude. And I thought, okay, great. You got to go. You got to go. She seems normal. She seems nice. You got to do it. Then he messaged me and said, she suggested that we do a silent date.
And I was like, heck no.
Silent date where you go out on the date, you're there together, but you don't have to talk. There's no pressure to have a conversation. There's no worry that you're going to say something awkward or dumb because you text everything.
Gosh. Again, still terrible. Okay.
I don't know who does these. Somebody must have had this idea and thought, you know what? This is the future of dating.
It was done once on The Big Bang Theory.
It was?
Yeah, because the girl with Raj, he went on a date with the girl, but she was socially awkward, very full of anxiety, so they texted the entire time.
Oh.
So this is it's from The Big Bang Theory a long time ago. But yes, I didn't think it would actually, seep into real life.
Well, they did go on this date, and he asked me, what do you think? Where should we go? How do I do a silent date? So I quarterbacked this thing, Anna. I said to them, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go out on Saturday. You're going to go for pizza. Pizza Saturday afternoon. Don't take up this girl's night. Don't waste your night, because if it doesn't go well, you can come over to my place for a few beers afterwards and we'll debrief.
There you go.
So it was 3:00 in the afternoon on Saturday. They went for pizza. They went downtown Burlington. He shows up. He got there first. That's kind of a weird one when you're meeting someone. Do you go in and ask for a table, or do you wait for them to get there and then you both go for a table?
I sit and I watch. I'm usually never on time, though. I gotta be honest.
You're never the first one there. Well, that explains why you don't know.
I'm never on time. I don't know.
It's true. When we got together, I got there before you did.
You did. I know. I know.
Okay, so he gets there and he waits. Sees her coming down the street. Looks familiar. Okay, that's the girl from the pictures.
Not catfish. That's good.
Right? And it definitely was her. She looked even better in person than she did in her pictures, Anna.
That's incredible. Okay.
But she wasn't alone.
Oh gosh, this gets bad.
She brought her kid.
I just can't. I cannot. How? Oh my gosh, cancel. Don't bring your kid on a first date. That it's already socially awkward that you have to text the entire time. I don't get it. I don't understand.
He sees her coming down the street and she's walking with this kid. And at first it wasn't really obvious if the kid was with her or just a kid walking down the street. But she got to the restaurant. Hey, how are you? And they did a formal introduction, and she said, and this is my son. Apparently, the babysitter that she had arranged for the kid bailed at the last minute. She felt bad canceling on him, so she decided, I'm still going to go on the date. I'm going to bring my son with me.
First of all, he didn't even know she had a child, right?
No, she didn't tell him she had kids. Let alone that she'd be bringing her kid on the date.
That's the thing. The etiquette. Let them know that you're a parent. That's a big, huge part of your identity. I'd be pissed if I didn't know. And then to bring the child, I would have much rather been canceled on. Truly.
Really?
Much rather, because it's already nerve-wracking enough to meet somebody on a first date, let alone bringing their kid. And kids are very much you don't know what you're going to get with them.
Right.
Right? Especially on a first outing. So
it's also tough on the kid. Who's this guy that's not my dad?
Exactly. Exactly. So how did it go?
So they went into the restaurant and they all sat down, and then he said, okay, so silent date, right? Like, are we still texting? And she said, yeah, absolutely. We're still going to do the silent date. So that was it for conversation. For a while, they started texting. And then he texted her and said, should I be texting with your son too? And she said, actually, he prefers Snapchat. So,
as one would at that age. Like, this kills me. Bless that friend of yours for staying put and, like, you know, not leaving or saying, I have an emergency call, I gotta go, you know, because he was allowed to be on his phone at that point. But how do you converse with all three of you? Like, three's company? I don't get it.
So the silent date part only lasted about 20 minutes.
Thank goodness for that. So she was capable of carrying on a conversation.
Actually, he said she was a perfectly good person to speak to. She had interesting things to say and good stories to tell, and she was fun.
Well, I guess she would have to, because then she can't tell her kid another time, be like, get off your phone. It's rude to be on your phone, you know? Right?
Right.
Oh,
so,
man.
When we told this story on the radio this morning, bam, just a ton of text messages from people who wanted to weigh in. People shocked. And one of the most common things that came in was, I know what's going on here. This is just a woman looking for a free meal, and she brought her kid along. There's way too many women out there that go on dates because they want a free meal.
Shut it.
She picked up the bill.
As she should, because she had an extra mouth to feed.
There was an extra mouth to feed, and he said, no, I'll get the bill. Nope, she insisted. This is my treat. It's on me. And he thought, okay, well, you know, I had a good conversation. I met her. We had our pizza. The silent part didn't work out that great, so nothing really lost. I had a good afternoon and a great pizza.
I would have run out of there. Thanks so much. See you never.
Then she said, and by the way, I got all this like a couple hours after the date because he texted me and he's like, hey, date's over. And I'm like, you better fill me in on what happened here. He's like, can I call you? And I thought, call me? Oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you damn well better call me. And he told me the end of the date. This is how it went. She picked up the bill, left a nice tip. Hey, it was great to meet you. I hope you had a good afternoon. We're going to go for gelato. Would you like to join us for ice cream? He went.
Oh, my gosh.
He went.
How do you say no at that point? I mean, I would have said no, I guess. How cute are they?
Well, how do you say no to gelato?
I know. Well, or this sweet little child that's just looking up at you and being like, hi, Dad. Like, I don't know. You know, are you my new daddy? Like, I don't know. Like, what a position to be put in. And usually parents, they don't bring a child around a potential, you know, prospect for a while.
A lot of parents don't. And you know what, though, Anna? That's a tough situation because whether you are the new person or you're the parent, introducing a kid to someone who's not their biological parent, there's no easy way to do it. It's not like anybody's ever figured out, okay, if you do it on a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock over a pizza in a public place, that's how you'll get the best response.
I don't know.
Right. Some people don't want to introduce their kids until they're sure that this person is the right one. Other people don't really have a problem with it. In this particular case, I don't know if it's that she didn't have a problem with it or she really didn't have any other options. Either way, she flat out told him she likes him. She didn't want to cancel because she really wanted to meet him in person.
I just feel like he seems nice enough to agree to do the silent date that I think that he would have been okay with rescheduling, even if we were later in the date. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. And people are like, why? Where was her family? Where's this or that? It doesn't matter. If she can't get a sitter, she can't get a sitter. And if she's comfortable bringing their child with her, fine. I have friends who bring their kids everywhere, and I mean everywhere, and they're happy to do so. It's just I would have been very much caught off guard if I, first of all, didn't know she was a parent and then brought the kid. That, like, those are red flags to me. Like, I need communication.
Okay.
If you can text, that's something you let me know.
Well, as you know, I'm quarterbacking this whole thing for him, trying to find him love for the second half of his life.
Oh, she's just a sweetheart.
He's gone on this silent date. The kid was there. They met. They had a nice pizza. They went out for gelato afterwards. He picked up the bill for the ice cream, and then it was time to say goodbye.
Oh, this part, yeah.
Her, really nice to meet you. Wave.
A wave?
No hug.
No hug?
No hug.
Oh.
Kids there, right?
I know, but it's not making out with them. It's just a hug.
Yeah, no hug.
Why do people have problems with hugs? Hugs are very nice.
Kids, I could write a book on the problems with hugs, but anyway. kid reached out for a fist bump.
Oh, I love that.
So he fist bumped him. They went to their car. He went to his car. Bam, right to call me right away.
Right. Oh, called you right away.
Yeah.
Has he been in touch with her since?
This is the thing. This was on Saturday.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday, and it's morning as we record. He didn't hear from her Sunday, didn't hear from her Monday.
It's because he should be reaching out.
Should he or should she?
I don't know. I like when he reaches out because then I have an idea that he's into me. I don't know. I'm old school, okay? Don't look at me like that. Get out of here. I can't help it. I'm very ahead, but not.
Okay. Is the ball in her court or his at this point?
Well, his, because he has to let her know that he's interested because she brought a lot to the table.
Yes, she did.
She brought a lot to the table. So if he writes her and says, hey, thanks. I had a wonderful time. Great to meet you and Joe Bobby. That's the name of the kid. I've named it. With Joe Bobby. And I would love to get together with just you, if possible, next time.
They did agree before they went their separate ways that they would talk soon and hopefully see each other again.
So I would want him. I'm sure she's waiting for him because it's a big thing. She dropped a lot on him,
How long do they wait, though? If he hasn't heard from her by the end of the day today, tomorrow?
Don't give me I'm going to wait 3 days before I message her. I'm good as you're dead to me. Honestly, I hate that. I hate it. Don't waste my time. I hate games. If you're into me, just message me. Just call me. I'm into it. And sometimes I'll message you, but mostly I like you to message me first. I'm saying it.
Well,
yeah.
It went well.
Okay. Well, that makes me happy. Maybe he'll get a hug next time.
I don't know. He thought there was a bit of chemistry.
I don't. Well,
as much chemistry as there can be in front of her kid.
What are you talking about? That's censorship in front of the kid. Do you know what I mean? What do you say? What's your favorite color? Purple? I don't know. What do you talk about?
Apparently, the kid was quite content to be on his phone during the date, so he was quite fine.
Did the kid bring headphones? Because I see a lot of that.
I don't think they come out of kids' ears, do they? I think they're just permanently in there now.
So then that would be a nice little touch, right? Oh my gosh.
Hardwire AirPods right into a kid's ear.
Whatever it takes, but kudos. People are calling him a gentleman. Your friend's a gentleman for doing this. Somebody else said, hey, your friend knows what's out in the wild at his age demographic, what's in the market for him. So, of course, he was going to take this opportunity to go out on a date. That's some of the text messages we got.
I'll let you know about the second date. And if that one goes any further, it won't be a silent date and it will probably be kid-free.
I mean, I can't say boo. I mean, I got no dates. And this chick's bringing her kid and she's doing well. So, I'm obviously doing something wrong. So, I don't know. So, I'm just the peanut gallery, throwing in my opinion when I shouldn't because I got nobody to call me and say, I love you.
Oh, that's great. Everyone, thank you for listening to this episode of Scott Fox After 9. It is Tuesday, and there's your Tuesday episode. We'll have 3 more this week. Woo. Have yourselves a great one, and remember to tell a friend. Tell the world. It's a radio show that's available on demand every day as a podcast, Scott Fox After 9. I will leave you with the sounds of Pat James and The Whole Truth. Sing it, Pat. Hey now.